Right. Let's hear me out. This is going to be a rant, basically. So, you know when the ministers in the government, in the Irish government, when St. Patrick's Days come, they go off to everywhere across the world on the government, on the taxpayers' money, going off on holidays. The Taoiseach goes to America on the taxpayers' money. And you have to wonder, because nearly all the ministers go off to Singapore, to Australia, excuse me, to New Zealand, around the whole world. And you wonder how, there's people lying on trolleys, there's people lying on the street. And you know what, it takes nearly a million probably for the Taoiseach to go to America, to get a hotel in America and security and everything like that. And you just ponder to yourself, what kind of, if I was Taoiseach, and I might just say it straight, I wouldn't leave the country, simple as that, I wouldn't leave the country, refuse to leave the country. Because the way I look at it, if you're a Taoiseach or president, your job is in Ireland, not in any other country. And that's totally right, that's totally common sense. I'm sure there's presidents around the world that will refuse to leave the country, which they're dead right to do. And they go off to different countries on their holidays, the Taoiseach and the Taoiseach, they go off all around the world on the private jets, that the taxpayer has to spend millions upon millions on them going to 5-star hotels, 6-star meals and everything like that. And you know what I say? That's ridiculous. The amount of money that they spend on St. Patrick's Day. This is only St. Patrick's Day. I'm not even talking about President Higgins going to Greece. God knows how much that took. He was in Greece last month. He was in Germany another month ago. And you have to ask yourself, why is he not paying for it? Like, good God, his wife is getting a pension. He's getting a pension. He's getting a teacher's salary. And he's getting a TD salary. And his daughter's with Shannon Aaron. And you have to wonder to yourself, he's well able to pay for 2 or 3 million, like when he was in Germany, to pay for that. I'm sure he's well able to pay for it, instead of getting the taxpayer to pay for it. And that's something that I would be very much against if I was president. I know I'm talking about this, but I would not, especially if there's people lying in the street, I would rather that money go towards that. And I would, the hell and the back with my holiday, or wherever I want to go, the hell and the back. There's more important issues the money has to go to. Homelessness, housing crisis, I can go on forever, how about that? Because, there's just so much in this country that's wrong. So much. And you see in St. Patrick's, the Taoiseach goes off to America. They go that way, they go this way, they go up the way, they go down the way, they go down the road, up the road, wherever you want to say, on the government jet, and it's great crack. The taxpayer has to pay for everything. Food, wine, and when there's people starving on the street, there's people dying in houses because they can't afford to pay rent. And the government is just like, it's a holiday. It's a holiday. This country has no problems. We're going off to America for a week. We don't care less. As long as we get a holiday, we're entitled to a holiday. We get 96,000 a year. Why should we spend it on a flight to America? Why should we? We have to get our private jets over. We have to get the taxpayer to pay for it. Oh, it's a great life in this country. It's a land of opportunity. A land of people who can't suffer in this country. Because that's the way the government looks nearly at this country. And it's a joke. It's a joke that they will spend. It probably is a million. I probably am right. So it probably takes $1 million for Leo Farker to go over to America, sit around America. Get a bowl of shamrock, give a bowl of shamrocks to the president and go off and do his own business, go off and run around the country in New York. On the Irish taxpayers' dime. It's on the American taxpayers' dime. I'm sure they wouldn't be that mad over there to give the Taoiseach of Ireland money, because it would all go to his pension. And probably the rest of the captain's pension too. But seriously, what kind of a brain did they have? Like, literally. I seen Michael D. Higgins go to Germany 1 month. Then he was in Greece. And I'm like, that's nearly 4 or 5 million probably worth of expenses the taxpayer has to pay for. And you're just like, they did not realise what's happening. Or that's always in other countries, that they're too busy, meddling in other countries' affairs to worry about what's happening in Ireland. It just mind boggles you. It makes you think. Makes you think, what kind of a brain do we have in this country, in this government. Because I tell you, I'd be a very different person. And like, I might as well say it straight. I would not go off to Greece for 2 or 3 weeks and stay in Greece. If there's somebody dying on the street, I would not do it. Simple as that. I would rather starve to death in the office than go off to Greece when somebody's dying on the street. I'd rather starve to death. I wouldn't do it. Even if Ireland was going to lose millions out of it, I wouldn't do it. I would prioritise the person dying on the street than prioritise my vacation to meet the Greek Prime Minister, to meet the Greek, whatever they want to call them, the aristocracy over in Greek. I wouldn't, I'd be like, there's somebody lying in the streets of Dublin. Haven't got time for them. They have their money made, I don't care. They can stay over in Greece. I'm in Ireland. I'm in Dublin. I have a country to run. I have to uphold the constitution. I have to protect the people of Ireland. And I have a job to do. So bye Greece, I have no time. The Irish people come first. But I'd be very different. That's how I would never get elected, because I'd be too busy. Ireland, nothing else but Ireland. I have no time for ambassadors. Ireland only. Simple as that. Irish problems first. If I have time, maybe some ambassadors might come. But if I don't, the Irish people will be the first priority, and the people on this island will be the first priority for me as president. Simple as that. That's what should be Michael D. Higgins' priority, instead of running around the country, meeting ambassadors and this, that, and the other. It's all right. I'm not saying if he goes out every so often and helps the homeless in Phoenix Park, then I can say, we can meet a few ambassadors then. But I don't see him going out to meet the homeless in the Phoenix Park. It just doesn't make any sense.